The $500,000 Ultimate Bowls Championship could not have been more impressive in its debut season. The all-new fast format has been embraced by spectators and players alike.
Have a look at this. He's down on all fours, Case. Look at it.
And meantime, the television pitches screening in 24 countries have attracted millions of viewers. The UBC began at Warilla on the New South Wales south coast in April. And in a superb performance, Club Dandenong swept all before them.
Well, here we go. It's 61-50. He needs 10 points, remember, to win this match.
Well, the toucher. He falls over Barry Lester. Look at him. He loves it.
Round 2 at Melbourne's Deer Park was taken out by the point in a thrilling finale.
Well, Ali Forsyth,
That's
and he
ridiculous.
gets a toucher.
So now, the scene is set for an epic final showdown at Moama Bowls Club on the New South Wales-Victorian border. Welcome to our coverage of the ultimate event featuring the world's greatest players. Our coverage proudly presented by Ryman Healthcare, Sports Centre, Aero Bowls and the Moama Bowling Club.
Welcome to the Moama Bowling Club as we are set to wrap up the final round of the Ultimate Bowls Championship. I'm joined by Mark Casey, the CEO of the Ultimate Bowls Championship. Mark, looking back at the inaugural season of this championship, what has been the proudest moment for you?
I think it's been a fantastic 12 months, but just to see 24 team owners here doing battle for $500,000 in prize money, that's incredible effort from our team, and yeah, they've had a great year and really looking forward to next year now.
And there was a Hong Kong qualifier. I mean, the international interest in this sport continues to grow.
Absolutely. Just recently, Jackie Wong from China won the qualifying tournament, so we'll welcome him into our event next year and really looking forward for that.
And one other thing that we have to touch on is the volunteers that make the Ultimate Bowls Championship possible. What do you want to say to those guys who have been here helping you out along the way?
Absolutely, I'm a great believer. Events can't run without volunteers, and this is no different. So we've got a team of 30 volunteers operating our scoring system, the shot clocks, and it's been a massive help. So yeah, from the whole UBC team, we thank them very, very dearly.
You have to take your hats off to all of the team at the Ultimate Bowls Championship, and it has been an incredible first season, and we can't wait to wrap it up here at the Moama Bowling Club. So on that note, let's get the finals action underway.
Hi everyone, welcome to our coverage of the final round of the Ultimate Bowls Championship. In its debut season of 2019, some magnificent aerial shots of this Moama region located on the New South Wales-Victorian border. That's the ultimate team points progress tally at the completion of round 2. Dandenong, the Streaky Bay Sharks and the point mathematically entering this final round with a chance of winning the ultimate team. And of course it carries a significant prize money bonus. We now are going to start our coverage today by looking at some of the action featuring teams that we won't see in the quarterfinals. And the first game from day one featuring the Asia Eagles and the Asia Dragons, as I welcome Chris Green to the call. And the great news is that Asia's interest in not just this tournament but the sport as a whole continues to grow.
Great to be here, Tappy. Absolutely. It's just going to build in 2020 a further team from Asia and also a further qualifiers, not just the wildcards but the Hong Kong qualifiers next season. Great bowls here from both the Eagles and the Dragons. The results haven't gone all their way this opening season, but they'll be looking to improve next year. It's been great to see a couple of locals teaming up with two players in the Asian sides. Mr. Yi on screen there, he is a great supporter of the UBC. He increases his interest in 2020, also owning the Broadbeach Lions.
Exactly. New entity, if you like. There's the dates on screen, in fact, for 2020. 3 rounds of this championship to be conducted, getting underway at Deer Park in Melbourne, April 2 and 3. As our highlights package continues, of course, Chris alluding to a couple of the locals involved in these Asian teams. Bryce Young, representing the Asia Eagles, and Matty Alul, a Melbourne Bowling Club product representing the Asia Dragons. So we now advance to highlights of our next match from day one. This features the UBC wildcard team. In this highlights package, we see them facing the Borough Boys, but of course the wildcard team is just another of the very unique aspects of the Ultimate Bowls Championship.
Amazing interest and amazing support behind the wildcard sides at each event. Each event has a different wildcard side. Here we had Matt Miles, Tiff Brody and Steve Carney. Steve, he was pulled out of the draft in 2019. 2020 will see 3 new wildcard sides. They've put in a solid performance. Tiffany actually finishing second on the Golden Touch Award.
Yep, meritorious effort. And of course the wildcard team will again be a feature of the UBC in 2020. A reminder for all the latest news to visit the Facebook page or the brand new website which was recently unveiled for the Ultimate Bowls Championship. And you can hear the crowd in the background certainly appreciating the quality of bowls in that clash between the UBC wildcard team and the Borough Boys. Now we advance to some highlights of Tweed Heads. And in this particular match, they faced Broadbeach. And Tweed Heads a very, very good team in terms of the quality of personnel.
Yes, unfortunately not around in 2020. I'm sure the Stars will be involved in some sort of way, though. Chloe Stewart, Kurt Brown and Kelvin Kirko. 3 of the best in Australia. Their performances in Season 1 of the UBC definitely not up to their standard. They have been winning plenty of other events, but just not here at the UBC. Chloe Stewart, one of the Australian stars in the female ranks.
Could be argued, possibly the form female player in the country at the moment, Chloe.
Absolutely, Kurt Brown as well. What a great player he is. Just the results didn't go their way in 2019.
If you are interested in entering a team in the Ultimate Bowls Championship moving forward, you can do so by contacting Mark Casey, the CEO, mark at ultimatebowls.com.au. Our next highlight package features the Weeper Crocs and ITP Queensland, another match from day one. Of course, all Ultimate Bowls Championship rounds conducted over 2 days. And as I mentioned earlier, we're giving you a look at some of the teams that you won't see in quarterfinal action. Current world champion on screen, Joe Edwards, who in 2020 will be joined by Karen Murphy.
Yeah, one of the stars, Tappy, both favourites of mine, but Joe Edwards, we also see with Scotty McLaughlin and Tyler Pettigrew for the Weeper Crocs. Unfortunately, all 3 events, they finished 5th in their section, so just outside of the quarterfinals. But as you mentioned, next year we will see Joe Edwards and Karen Murphy.
Yep, arguably the 2 greatest female players of all time in the sport of bowls. Both great ambassadors as well. A reminder, you can get your UBC merchandise by visiting ultimatebowlschampionship.com.au. Get on the UBC bandwagon if you like. This Moama facility has done a magnificent job in gearing up for the finale in the Ultimate Bowls Championship's inaugural year. Now highlights of the Raptors against the South Island Storm from New Zealand.
Yeah, the Raptors once again at Moama back to 3 female players: Lisa Phillips, Michaela Gibson and Natasha Scott. They're up against South Island Storm. 2 sides who they did have some really good wins, but just failed to qualify for the big matches at the pointy end for each of the rounds.
Natasha now on screen, one of the gargantuans in the sport nationally, if not worldwide, has achieved stunning success, including the 2016 Australian Indoor Championship gold medal. Has won medals at the Asia Pacific Championships as well. And Lisa on screen now competed in the 2012 Australian Open and made the finals to eventually finish runner-up to Lindsay Clark.
The other side of the coin, the South Island Storm, Stevens, Roger and Bronwyn with Andrew Kelly. Big shot there, Natasha Scott. But don't go anywhere, plenty more action right after the break.
You're watching coverage of the 3rd and final round in the 2019 Ultimate Bowls Championship. Our coverage proudly presented by Ryman Healthcare, Sports Centre, Aero Bowls and the Moama Bowling Club. Welcome back. Nice to have your company, David Tapp and Chris Green. In commentary here at the Moama Bowling Club, the final round of the Ultimate Bowls Championship for 2019. Our highlights package continues before we unleash our highlights off quarterfinal number 1. Taking a moment to show you some of the teams that didn't figure in quarterfinals action. And day 1 action here, Whittlesea Eagles and the Wellington Hornets, Chris.
Both sides, impressive teams. The New Zealand superstar side with the Hornets, and you chuck in David Ferguson, one of Australia's best. Then you have the Whittlesea Eagles. It's a country town in Victoria, but plenty of stars there. Anthony Flapper, Nick McIntyre representing in this match. Big weight, that's what we came to see from the Eagles. Big results, unfortunately not getting the big W which both sides were looking for.
David Ferguson on screen. And needs no introduction in this sport. One of the top players, joined in the Wellington Hornets outfit by Gary Lawson and Jamie Hill.
A pre-selected player too, so he didn't have to worry too much about the draft that was staged at Tarrant Point Bowling Club the 31st of January.
Of course, David, amongst a raft of other achievements, the 2017 Australian Indoor Champion.
Very good carpet player, and we saw that throughout the UBC. Talking of players, Aaron Disco Wilson. He is on the move here, and he is on the move next year. This here staged at Moama, representing the Bull Ants. He will be in the Moama colours in 2020.
Indeed he will be. Ray Pearce, player on screen. He's in fact moving to the new entity, the Geelong Clippers, that will enter a team in 2020. But in this particular match, Cabramatta getting a decisive win in the end against their highly regarded rivals, the Point, who of course won the second round of this championship at Deer Park.
Well, this man on screen, many at the venue and many, they were all talking about him. Shots like this over and over again. Many comments along the lines of best display seen in years.
Fabulous players on the carpet here as our highlights package continues of some of the day 1 action. Still ahead on today's program, comprehensive coverage of the first quarterfinal featuring Broadbeach and Warilla. But as I alluded to earlier, Cabramatta big winners in that clash over the Point. Now we turn our attention to Deer Park tackling Albert Park.
Yeah, the Ultra Orb. The Ultra Orbs, they're the Albert Park side. Deer Park, as we know, they're the Chargers, also the host venue for Event 2 in 2019, and they will be opening up the account in 2020. They'll be the first host venue, swapping around with Warilla. David Holt on screen there, cheered by Brett Mahoney, who's had a big year. He was the number 1 draft pick for the 2019 draft, but then pre-selected in 2020.
Yep, Deer Park's campaign spearheaded by Lee Schreiner, Brett Mahoney and David Holt. Albert Park, Kevin Anderson, Russell Green and Luke Aiello.
And the big news for Deer Park, they have got the services of Paul Foster in 2020. So it'll be interesting to see, especially if they line up against Alex Marshall, those two multiple world titles, as we see big Kevy Anderson. He loved that. The crowd loved it. He's always very energetic, and even more so there, jumping over into the crowd, not even watching his bowl, but he knew it was hitting. Big high five with his teammates from back at his local club, Ryan Bester and Ryan Burnett.
I wish he'd get excited to stop holding back.
He didn't even watch the bowl. He knew it was there. He just waited for the crowd's reaction.
Great pitches.
Nathan Bush, he's moving along to the Geelong Clippers, but here he is for the Port Melbourne Navigators.
Yeah, this was a day 1 match against the highly regarded Dandenong club. And pretty close match too. You can see 10 points the difference in the end, with Dandenong prevailing, but not before the Navigators gave plenty of cheek.
Yeah, plenty of cheek, plenty of action. They were quarterfinalists in Event 2 at Deer Park. They just fell away towards the end here at Moama. But interesting to see without Bush next year how they go. He was the Golden Touch winner at Deer Park, Nathan Bush, but as mentioned by you, Tappy, he'll be joining up with Ray Pearce for the Geelong Clippers, brand new franchise in 2020.
Yeah, solid combination, all right. Both players need no introduction. And the action continuing at Moama. And with that game having been wrapped up, we'll have a quick look at Streaky Bay. In this match from day one, they faced Holdfast Heat. You can see the Heat far too good. And that was somewhat of a surprise because Streaky Bay obviously entering this final round in contention to be the ultimate team.
Yeah, South Australian derby as well, so bragging rights on the line. A disappointing event for Streaky Bay. They've had a great year though, a really good year.
Indeed, Ben Twist has been in good touch for them, goes without saying. Ably supported by Josh Stardom and John Fleming in their quest.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing Ben Twist in the Streaky Bay colours for plenty of years to come. He's always going to be their number one pick. The way he's been playing for them as we see shots there. Just a little bit unfortunate bowling of the jack. The Heat picking up the points.
And our final highlights package now, emanating from this Moama round of the championship, will feature some vision of the North Queensland Roos. Very good team too, in terms of its personnel. Brett Wilkie on screen, legend of bowls. And of course Moama, who, well, among others, feature the undisputed world's greatest player in Alex Marshall.
And one of the up-and-comers.
Yeah.
Seamus there, great player from New Zealand. Sure to see his face plenty in the UBC. Touches like that, scoring points. Shannon McElroy, one of the greats from New Zealand. Another world champion, just another world champion in this UBC.
Yep, heading into day one competition at Moama, he'd had a day the likes of which most of us would capitulate. I think he's been up since about 2 a.m. catching flights to make it to Moama in time for the start of play. Alex Marshall on screen. What hasn't he won?
The UBC.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe that'll come in 2020. You know what Taddy's like, and you can see it right there.
Yep.
Nothing is impossible for that man.
Arguably the biggest draw card in the sport, and producing a magnificent shot on that occasion. So that wraps up our highlights coverage featuring the teams that didn't advance through to quarterfinals action. So Section A, at the completion of preliminaries, sees the Broadbeach Bulls and the point equal on 24. 8 wins apiece, then Club Holdfast Heat, South Island Storm. Section B, Dandenong and Port Melbourne Borough Boys equal on 24, also with 8 wins apiece, followed by Exodus and Warilla Gorillas. So they are your quarterfinalists here at the third and final round of the Ultimate Bowls Championship. We will have comprehensive coverage of quarterfinal number 1, featuring some of the world's great players, Broadbeach and Warilla. That comes up next.
If you haven't already, be sure to head over to the Ultimate Bowls Championship Facebook page and give the guys a like. It's a fantastic community to be a part of where you can interact with the players, more fans, and the Ultimate Bowls Championship team. We'd love to see you there.
Wayne Turley, who's the most annoying person you've met in bowls?
I'll probably have to say Mark Casey. Plenty of times I had to room with him, com games and that. Yeah, he's annoying.
What are some of his bad habits?
I don't know. He's just so slow and takes him. He's just so laid back and so easy. So yeah, he's just an annoying person.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Bowls Championship here at the Moama Bowling Club. These battles continue to intensify. Tappy, let's go back to the rink.
Ebony, thank you. Job well done. Welcome back to the Moama Bowling Club. Wherever you might be watching around the world, our coverage of this tournament going to 24 countries. And we now advance to a highlights package, and a comprehensive one at that, of quarterfinal number 1 involving The Broadbeach Bulls on screen, represented by Ryan Bester and Ryan Burnett, two fabulous players who have achieved so much in the game. And of course they face the equally mighty Warilla Gorillas, represented by Jeremy Henry and Aaron Tees. Jeremy Henry, one of the world's great players on carpet, multiple World Cup winner. And Chris Green, this man on screen, Aaron Tees, there are a few players in better form than him right now.
Oh, absolutely. As we join the quarterfinal, number one, the second end, first bowl here from Aaron Tees. Quite interesting. Event 1 and Event 2 of the UBC, we saw Jeremy Henry leading up for Aaron Tees, and towards the back half of this, they're in a little bit of trouble, so that they switched it around and they've just scraped in for the finals. Purely the last bowl job in the 11th round of sectional play. Weeper Crocs finishing 5th once again. Warilla here though, 18-9 leaders against the Broadbeach Bulls. The final event for the Broadbeach Bulls before they change to the Broadbeach Lions in 2020.
Of course, Aaron Tees sending another one down. Commenced his bowls playing career, if you like, at age 6. And his teammate Jeremy is happy with that. Now we see Ryan Burnett in action. 2018 Australian Open Fours winner, amongst a plethora of other trophies that he's been able to attain.
Just under the line here, we'll see Aaron Tees change hands. I do like Jeremy Henry skipping. I've been lucky enough to play a couple of games, or a couple of years really, with Jeremy skipping, and I see him as one of the best skips in the world. Just his body language and what he adds to the game as a skip, and just that support as well, and then the bowls he can deliver.
Oh yeah.
Outstanding.
Charismatic too. Crowds love him. Enjoys what he does, and every bit of showman.
He's a great man.
And can produce incredible shots when required.
Interesting there. Burnett under with his second bowl, over with his second. Plenty of room here for the guys. It will be a further 3 points to Warilla, as we see the bottom there for the people tuning in, possibly for the first time. Plenty of points on offer here in the UBC. Every bowl potentially can score. You grab a toucher, it's 3 points. There'll be a further 3 points for the crossover when the leads finish their bowls. Whoever's got shot will get 3 points. At the conclusion of end, 18 points. Yes, 18 points on offer. 10 for the shot bowl, 5 for the second shot, and 3rd for the third shot. You get first, second, and third. You get the ultimate end.
Ryan Bester, watchful. Got those piercing eyes when he's on the radar. Watching the progress of his bowl. Broadbeach, it goes without saying, have a lot of work to do here, trailing 21-9. Bowl 9 of end number 2. They certainly were a club, a team that a lot was expected from in the inaugural year of the Ultimate Bowls Championship. Beautiful pitches emanating from the rink. We're putting you right into the action with the Steadicam camera kit.
Plenty of time left though, Tappy, as we see Bester attacking here, looking for the jack. Looks to get the hole. As we know, they topped their group after the 11 sectional rounds, so their combinations are working. And only 12 points. 12 points in the UBC, that's nothing but these Warilla boys. Especially if they get a trot up like Jeremy has now. They will be hard to beat, especially given a second chance. They thought they were out of it, and then they just snuck through into the quarterfinals.
You hear Jeremy apologising there. Of course, he and his teammate on the carpet in this match, Aaron Tees, have been confirmed as team members for Warilla in this championship in 2020.
Joined by Corey Wedlock. Yeah. So 3 players. Once again from Warilla, which is great to see, the club supporting their own players.
That is a formidable team, isn't it?
A team that will take plenty of beating, a superstar team. Talking of superstars, Georgia White is rinkside with a Bathurst superstar. Thanks, Georgia.
Thanks, Chris. I am on the bar out here on the deck beside the rink, and I have found a sporting legend, Australian supercar Bathurst winner, Jason Bright. Are you here checking out the UBC?
Yeah, a little bit different pace to what I've had in the past. But I dropped out to Deer Park. Obviously, know some people that are playing and commentating, and had a great night. The format's really good. It made it pretty exciting. So yeah, thought I'd come up here again.
Wonderful. And I hear that you might be getting into some barefoot bowls soon.
Next week, Christmas party. So yeah, trying to put a few team members together to make my team a little bit better. So should be a good week next week. Looking forward to the Christmas party.
Maybe you can get some tips off the guys here.
That's the plan for sure.
Wonderful. Thanks for chatting to us, Jason.
Thank you.
You're watching coverage of the third and final round in the 2019 Ultimate Bowls Championship. Our coverage proudly presented by Ryman Healthcare, Sports Centre, Aero Bowls and the Moama Bowling Club.
Welcome back to the action here at the Moama Bowling Club. There is nothing in it as we go into the third end of the Ultimate Bowls Championship. Let's get back to the ring.
Nice to have you with us wherever you might be watching an aerial of the magnificent Moama Bowling Club facility. One of the best in the world. They have done some job here in developing an incredible facility. Action continuing, it's N3. It's the first quarter-final. Broadbeach trailing Warilla 34-14.
Yeah, that combination of Tees and Henry extending the lead now to 20 points. Bester and Burnett, though, they won't give up. They didn't top their section for nothing. Toucher there, further 3 points to the Broadbeach side.
The toucher, a fantastic rule, innovation. Something the crowd really embrace as well. Action continuing here. Jeremy Henry watchful. Wow.
Just sliding past the jack, but finishing in a very good position there.
It would appear that Ryan Burnett is not happy. The body language was one of frustration and still is, as you can see in the inset. Not too shabby.
No, he's done very well there.
He didn't look happy, did he? When it left the hand, he did not look happy.
Well, we saw the previous end, he was just missing his lines a little bit. He's nailed his line here and his weight's really good. And we're teasy. Big Jeremy Henry is willing tees on. Currently, Broadbeach holding first and third shot. A toucher here would be massive. It would be 6 points. It'd be 3 points for the crossover and 3 points for a toucher. Really get him back into the game here. Well, Bester likes it. Burnett, he's willing it towards the jack. Will it get there?
Coming. Oh!
Well, it's gone just past. It just didn't get down there, Tappy. So we see a replay here. Burnett, very consistent with his delivery. Opening the end with a toucher, which gave him 3 points, and a further 3 points for the crossover. Just to bridge that gap a little bit, as we see bottom left-hand side of the score there. 14 points the difference. Henry hunting, just hanging up. Gets some sort of a result, though. Close to holding shot now, and that is confirmed by Ryan Burnett of the Broadbeach Bulls.
Chris, you said earlier in the program that you'd had the opportunity to play with Jeremy. What are some of the biggest things you learned from that experience?
Just the confidence. He's just the confidence in the player himself, and it gives you confidence and everyone in your team confidence, and it's almost opposite for the opponents. They sort of think, wow, he's going to play every single bowl perfect every single time. A lot of the occasions he did, though. When he first came to Australia, and he's just built that reputation over here. One of the greatest players ever to represent Northern Ireland as well, so it was a big change. It's not like it's just down the road. I mean, it's Northern Ireland to Australia, completely different.
Speaking of Northern Ireland, of course, Jeremy was the flag bearer for his homeland at the 2002 Commonwealth Games. Massive honour.
Yeah, Bester, another one, and Burnett. So there's 3 players on this rink who've travelled a long way who now reside in Australia. Aaron Tees, he was originally from Ballina, so he's come down the coast to Warilla. So a little bit of travel in all the boys here. So
Broadbeach, slowly but surely, clawing back in this game. If you've just joined our coverage, this is a highlights package of quarterfinal number 1. Two of the really big name clubs in the sport, Broadbeach and Warilla.
Yes, Warilla, of course, hosts for event 1 of the UBC. 2020 will see them swapped around with Deer Park. They'll be hosting the second event. I'm sure there'll be plenty of action in the Jungle Bar as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The 4 players on the carpet here, collectively, their resumes, almost as long as the rink itself, I would suspect.
Big bowls there from Bester. Once Jeremy just couldn't get his line to that jack in the ditch there. Interesting here, we see the umpire out nice and quick with the measure. Replay there, that focus. The boys knew that was good. They knew they needed that as well. N3.
Real precision stuff here, as you'd expect. The world's most lucrative bowls tournament, $500,000 prize money. So here, at the third end of this first quarter final, 38 now plays 37.
The guys getting some touches on the board nice and early there. Let's see if that makes a difference when we return with more finals action from the Ultimate Bowls Championship.
Can I ask you your greatest sporting moment? Not your own. What else has happened in world sport that you have a real affinity to or with?
Oh, crikey. Another sporting moment. Absolutely no clue.
So the first quarter final of the Ultimate Bowls Championships final round for 2019, continuing at the Moama Bowling Club in almost perfect weather conditions, not overly oppressive here. Fourth end sees Broadbeach now leading by 1 point. They trailed by a fair margin, didn't they, in the second end, and they've come back brilliantly.
Yeah, it's the UBC, Tappy. Anything is possible, especially when it comes down to scoring points. You speak of the conditions here. It is quite comfortable. And look at the crowd there in the background. They're loving it. The other side's the hospitality areas. They've got another second tier as well. Everyone is around this TV rink.
So Burnett sending another one down. Of course, Ryan winning the Australian Pairs Championship at Broadbeach in 2016. And now Aaron Tees, his opportunity to shine. Has enjoyed a stellar 2019. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, 2 ends to go here. This being the second last end of the quarter final. I think for Warilla to get the win, Tees needs to stamp a little bit of authority here. I'm very surprised he wasn't up to that. The opportunity of sitting the 2 bowls, trailing the jack himself, falling short, almost gets in his line. But Burnett, he's just swapped hands here and he's just going to sail through a touch, but it's in a really good position.
Great game here. Living right up to the hype.
Well, here we go. Aaron Tees is searching. Needs to get down here. Even he gets his contact through his own to get some sort of shot is good. But it'll be a further 3 points to Broadbeach. All the running over the last end and a half has been Broadbeach's way. Just need something to change here for the Gorillas if they want to push forward through the semi-final. Otherwise, that man on screen will have another chance of delivering that bowl in the semi-final. Ryan Burnett, he lets us all know what's happening, that's for sure.
He does wear his heart on his sleeve, as does his teammate Ryan Bester. He's got the look happening again. And Broadbeach now leading by 4.
I think that's been one of the things that I've really enjoyed about the UBC this year is the buy-in from the players and just how animated they get. And it's not just with the teammates and the opponents, it's with the crowd as well. They're really getting involved in the whole concept of the UBC.
Yeah, a lot of players providing sublime entertainment. When it comes to the animated award, I guess Barry Lester takes him running down.
He's still looking for his cap from event 1 where he threw it and it landed on the top of the roof.
That was at Warilla. It actually landed in Shell Harbour.
Okay, currently first and third shot here for Broadbeach with a lead of 4 points already. That's pretty good hunting. Looks to be first and second now. Needs to be some sort of contact here from Jeremy Henry, as we see on screen there. Former winner of the World Indoor Pairs. That was with Ian McClure, another one of the greats from Northern Ireland. And just a bit of a fun fact for you, they were qualifiers and still the only qualifiers ever to win the World Indoor Pairs. Well, he gets points there and he'll get the shot out of it. Big bowl there, Jeremy Henry. So 3 points for the toucher, still 1 bowl remaining for both Bester and Henry. It's a draw off, draw to the jack.
So nothing in this game, Chris. Two of the heavyweight clubs exchanging blows.
Well, Best is sailing through here. Big opportunity for the Warilla Gorillas. Jeremy Henry played a big bowl with his second. Now about to deliver his third. Can he draw? He needs to draw. He draws second shot here. That's big. That'll be 15 points. Well, just missing there, Jeremy. It's going to be interesting to see what the boys decide here. Could it be first, second, third? First for Warilla by the looks of things. Second and third to Broadbeach. So Warilla will go into the final end if it stays that way in front.
Jeremy Henry watchful. On that note, we will take a break from the Moama Bowls Club and come back with the final end in this thrilling quarterfinal. You're watching coverage of the third and final round in the 2019 Ultimate Bowls Championship. Our coverage proudly presented by Ryman Healthcare, Sports Centre, Aero Bowls and the Moama Bowling Club. Welcome back to our coverage of the Ultimate Bowls Championship. And we wait with no little expectation for the final end in this first quarterfinal clash between Warilla and Broadbeach. And it has been some game, Chris.
Yeah, just 1 point in it. Just a slight glitch. N4 there with the score. The last couple of bowls coming down. We had them down as bowls 11 and 12. But 1 point. But Jeremy Henry, will he be ruining his last bowl on N4? He had the opportunity to draw another shot and it could have made 10 points, so an 11-point difference, but 1 point the difference. One end to go, quarterfinal number one.
As we watch Ryan Burnett in action again, a plug for next week's program in the same time slot right here. Highlights of quarterfinals 2 and 3, Hold Fast and the Borough Boys, and Team Exodus and the Point.
Plenty more amazing matches left in Event 3 here from Moama. UBC finishing off the year. 500,000 prize money, 150,000 still for this event, plus another 50,000 for the ultimate team. Well, Aaron Tees, big bowl there. The beauty of that is not only just the 3 points, but it almost blocks the opportunities for touches for Broadbeach now. With a 4-point difference, Broadbeach need to make some contact here. It'd be perfect if it was with this bowl. Ryan Burnett, he does. So it's not a contact for the jack, so it's not 3 points, but what it does, it opens up the opportunity for touches.
Aaron Tees on the mat again. I mentioned earlier, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, arguably the form player in the game in 2019. He's had a stellar campaign.
Okay. Just leaving the door open there, though, for the Broadbeach Bulls. Ryan Burnett, can he draw the shot here? Currently 4-point margin. Can he get it back to 1? He gets around the bowl and gets to the jack, and he takes the lead.
Fantastic.
3 points for a toucher, 3 for the crossover. How quickly things can change here in the UBC. Currently 55-53. 3 bowls remaining from the Bulls, 3 from the Gorillas.
Another look at it. Ryan Bester was thrilled. Likewise, Ryan Burnett. And the obligatory high fives. 55-53. What a quarterfinal.
Well, still the possibility for an extra end. If Warilla were to grab shot, be 10 points. Second and third from Broadbeach would be 8 points, and then be the 2-point gap that we currently have at the moment.
Quite right. So Bester, another opportunity for him. Looking to consolidate this lead in the final end. Watchful as always.
Really get down to Henry's last. No, just missing on the high side there, but finishing in really good areas. Warilla need to get shot. They must get the first shot at the conclusion of this end.
Big Jez up.
Unless they were to get a couple of touches, Jeremy will be hunting for that. He needs a tighter line. He looks to be still on the high side there. And not running either.
Rock and roll atmosphere here. Possibly making it a bit hard for the players to hear each other.
Yes. Good call there from Burnett, just swapping hands here for Bester. Just sort of try and lay next to it. Jeremy's going to have to be looking to land the shot bowl, but if Bester can get another one in there, be very big, go a long way to securing them a spot in the semi-finals. So, one bowl here, Jeremy Henry. Can he keep the UBC dream alive?
He'll be hoping so.
Down on his trusty backhand. He's one of the men in the world who can play it. He's still watching it. He's still watching it. Looks to be on a tight line here, and it is. So there it is, under. So it will be Broadbeach who finish on top of their group, and they will progress. Warilla who finish fourth. That'll end their UBC here at Moama. They'll be looking forward to 2020.
Yep, disappointing for Henry and for Aaron Tees, but Broadbeach too good on that occasion. Let's head downstairs to Georgia.
We have locked in our first semi-finalist, the Broadbeach Bulls, and what a match that was. Going into the last couple of ends, is there anything you specifically thought you had to do?
Get closer. No, I knew obviously Aaron's a fantastic player, he's going to lead well. I knew I just had to try and win that, and if you get a toucher along the way, it helps the skip when they go to the mat. So yeah, just try and win the last couple of ends. If you pick up a toucher, that's a bonus.
And going forward, are you going to be making sure the little rings are sitting up in the bag this time with your superstition?
Yeah, exactly. Got to keep that going, Georgia. But yeah, no, it was a good game. They started off on fire, but just to be able to get there in the end was good.
Yeah, thank you to Georgia White. Look forward to your company on our coverage of the Ultimate Bowls Championship next week. It's highlights of quarterfinals 2 and 3, Holdfast and the Borough Boys, and then Exodus and the Point. We do look forward to that. Chris Green, thanks for your contribution as always. Some world-class bowls here today.
Thanks, Tappy. Loved it. Quarterfinal number 1, brilliant. Quarterfinal 2 and 3, sure to deliver. I can't wait to see who books their spots in the semi-final. Make sure to tune in next week so you can catch it too.